All right, everyone, we got a lot to talk about. I'm Charting Man Dan with the Chart Guys. I've been trading crypto 6.5 years, and we have a very volatile day right now. This is a bit of a scramble live stream, and I'm in a bit of a rush, but we'll try and cover everything that I want to. Going to go over the technical stuff, and then going to talk about how I'm trading this. I'm short Riot. I'll tell you why I went short Riot this morning and why I took profit on Bitcoin this morning. But first things first. If you're freaking out about Coinbase being down, this is extremely normal. And honestly, I would be surprised if Coinbase did not go down in this volatility. Why? Because I've been raised in an environment where I've been trading on Coinbase since 2017. This would happen every week in 2017 with the massive volatility there. And you just got used to it, and it just became the norm. So I know a lot of people might be experiencing that for the first time and freaking out because their balance says zero and there's, rumors of a hack. But I can't stress enough how normal this is. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's just normal. This happened. This has probably happened at least 25 to 30 times in my 6 years of trading on Coinbase. So don't sweat it. You'll get your balance back soon enough. You'll be able to trade soon enough. It slowly comes back on. So just wanted to address that first. Second, what are we looking for in the short term? An equilibrium. That's the most likely scenario after volatility. We hit 5-minute oversold. We bounce. Now we set the lower high as most likely. Now we're looking for a 5-minute high or low. The next bit of information that we're going to get is what direction does this tightening 5-minute range break? If this 5-minute range breaks bearish, we're going to zoom out for further 4-hour consolidation. If it breaks bullish, I'm going to look for an hourly lower high compared to 64,000. This pullback is expected because we didn't build support on the way up. You can't just run straight up. The harder you run up, the more you're going to pull back. And so just looking at Twitter here, I made a post right before this dump essentially saying, hey, the $3,000 pullback here, Bitcoin's reminding me of 2017. And now that Coinbase is down, it's really reminding me of 2017. Enjoy it, bulls. Remind yourselves of the game plans. There's no support. A 3K drop can happen very easily, and then determine what time frame matters the most to you. So what were the signs of the blow off top? Again, just straight up. If you don't build, and look at the 4-hour time frame. And Joey was pointing out that clip that's on our Twitter there is a clip from Joey's midday live stream that he was doing for Chart Guys members, pointing out we were at historical RSI levels, meaning that some of the highest the RSI has ever hit on the 12-hour, the 8-hour, the 4-hour, the hourly. When it all lines up like that, a temporary top is likely going to be set in the near term. And so I happen to tick the top by 1 minute. Certainly not something to expect, but got to give myself a pat on the back here. Got to find it. So BTC is shaping up for a blow-off top soon, at least for a 15-minute pullback. Riot is still way weaker, and that was, where was it? 12.16, and 12.16 was the top. So to the minute. But now what? Again, just 5-minute high or low. Most likely, we're going to sort things out, digest things. And again, the direction that we break from here will be telling. So why am I short Riot? I'm riding a really nice short Riot on Riot for a number of reasons. We're going to talk about the miners here for a little bit. There's a significant amount of relative weakness in these miners, specifically Riot. I mean, you look at Riot. Riot hit 1875 when Bitcoin was trading at like 40,000, 45,000. And so here we have us unable to break a level when Bitcoin is 40% higher. So I headed into this morning with a game plan of shorting these names. And it was Riot relative weakness to Bitcoin is glaring. Bitcoin's up 50% from the last time we were at this level. The NASDAQ's up 5% from the last time we were at this level. And so I shorted Riot first thing on the morning. So shorted Riot. Bitcoin's still healthy. It's got to roll over if we're going to see any kind of weakness. And so now I'm in a swing short on Riot, and I'm going to hold it because I believe the Bitcoin top is in for now. What does that mean? Do we pull back for a couple of days? Do we pull back for a couple of weeks? Maybe. But I know it's in for today. And so that's enough for me to, again, the relative weakness is screaming on these miners. CLSK has been stronger, absolutely. So less, Riot's the glaring one. But even MARA, Yeah, we broke to a new high here, but again, we're dropping hard on this sell-off. And so I do believe that, if we're looking short in crypto or if we're looking to hedge, that these miners are the place to be as long as they're showing us this kind of relative weakness. And, here's a very quick 12% drop in an hour and a half on this top. So I sold some swing in Bitcoin today. Not too much higher than where we are, 60.5 thousand. The last entry I made that I posted on Twitter was the hourly back burner. I cannot stress enough. Myself, the people that I know in crypto that turned 5 figures into 7 figures, it's back burners. I cannot stress it enough. So I bought hourly oversold back burner back here, posted it on Twitter, sold partial, stuck my stop under the low, and then enjoyed the move up. And then I sold it this morning, 60.5 thousand, we'll call it. And this morning, we also had, shout out to Chart Guys members, 5-minute back burner. So here on Binance, the back burner triggers this morning, and the second one didn't trigger because when you get this kind of volatility, the data that comes from these exchanges gets messed up, and you can see the big gaps here on Binance. But this morning it was fine. And so this morning, shout out to Moongazer, just nailing the back burner. Back burner, 5-minute oversold, couple people buy, we sell partial, and then some appreciation of the back burner, changing people's trading lives. And so even this drop here was a 5-minute oversold drop, and we just bounced, 5%. If you want to be in on names that are moving, wait for the back burners. And so the next one, we just did 5-minute oversold, so now we're going to wait for 15-minute oversold. I'm probably waiting for hourly. I'll be interested next hourly oversold, watching for a potential daily higher low. So again, if you want entries, use the back burners. Google Chart Guys back burners. Watch that video. Watch the indicator. I just cannot stress it enough. If a culmination of 9 years of doing these videos and trying to help people, if I could give one thing aside from learning, price action trends, it's back burners. That's just it. Because they help you so much in a trending market. So pretty solid pullback here. We're going to look for the 5-minute higher low. You also have to figure when people get Coinbase back online, they're going to take some profit out of fear. Just, because they think, oh no, was there a hack? Am I going to lose my money? I should have sold when we were 6% higher. So just factor that in as well. But next back burner for me is hourly. The 15-minute may work, but I'm going to be a little bit more picky just because it's a clear blow off top in the short term. Big picture, if you gave me the, what is the most ideal scenario? Give me this a top for now, have a double top narrative be born, have us pull back for 2 months to 50,000 and then cup and handle. That would be ideal because you would build up a bunch of shorts, you would cool off everything that's way overextended right now, and that would just be in terms of, the amount. If we just broke 69,000 this week, I wouldn't expect any notable follow through. We're way too extended. Top out, cool everything off, give the bears a narrative, and then squeeze them out. If I could rule the world, that's what I would choose in terms of how it shapes up. But it's way too early to call that. At this point, we'd have to lose a daily uptrend as step number one. So we can anticipate a lot of volatility is going to continue. We've got the altcoins are selling off really hard. This screen was, up 20, Dogecoin up 20%. And that's, I was starting to think dash to trash. When the meme coins pump, when Litecoin moves, but it was the meme coins today. Keep an eye out on dash to trash when you're in euphoria mode. And, that Doge pump helping mark a bit of a top here. But my point is this whole screen was green 5 to 20%. And now you got some red 5 to 10% here. Just looking at look at this massive sushi drop here. 158, just 10% drops in 30 minutes. So in an ideal world, if you want crypto to stay healthy, you want Bitcoin to find a range wherever it does. Let's go 12-hour. We haven't seen any 12-hour consolidation. So what I would want to see is find a 12-hour higher low and then give us an equilibrium on the longer term time frames, trade sideways. And while that happens, you want to see the dominance dropping to show rotation into alt. Here's the dominance chart hitting fresh highs, or at least testing fresh highs. Didn't quite get there. But that would be healthy in terms of profits rotating around within the crypto environment. We don't want everything to be dropping together because then that's money leaving crypto. But that's something to be watching for once Bitcoin does find a more meaningful bottom and then starts to trade sideways within that bottom. But again, a temporary top is in. We can say that much because of the blow-off nature of this move. And again, just, I know a lot of you are newer here. Everything that's transpired today was the norm in 2017. So we have, people asking questions. How do you trade this volatility? Number one, you got to have experience, but I just use market orders. And so, I was market buying and selling MARA on the way up. I was already in my MARA short, or my Riot short, but you have to get used to it because it's very difficult to trade in this environment. But some of us, again, we're hardened and trained in a market environment where something like this would happen every couple of weeks. And that's how I was able to outperform Bitcoin. Bitcoin, went 1,000% plus, and I was able to outperform it in 2017 because I'd be selling the euphoria and then reloading on these massive drops and then doing some of the rotation game with Litecoin and Ethereum. You just take mental note of how you felt this morning. That's euphoria. Everything's going massively up, and it doesn't seem like anything can stop the bulls. And that you want to associate that feeling with I should take some profit, even if it's just scaling out a little bit. Because there's always going to be a dip. The more you run, the less support you build on the way up, the more you're going to pull back, the easier it's going to be to reload cheaper. Where does Ethereum stand? ETH BTC. This is all I care about Ethereum. Weekly rejected, and we're now in an equilibrium. If this does not break bullish, Ethereum is not going to get any kind of substantial rotation and attention. It made a nice move up following Bitcoin, obviously, but this has to break bull. RNDR has been a good one. It just failed the all-time high, double top at $8 essentially. And if we roll over and break 7, that's going to put in a temporary top here and have us looking for weekly consolidation. INJ had a beautiful setup for weekly continuation, but might be getting derailed here. All about weekly EMA 12 for the names that have been holding it. If you hold weekly EMA 12, there's nothing to worry about. If you lose it, things are shifting. And you've got to make note of that. But again, it's one time frame at a time. Bitcoin, we'll see how we break this 5-minute range. 5-minute higher low trying to form now. And we scout the lower high. This can easily tighten up for another 30 plus minutes. If it breaks bear, again, what happens after this volatility and why equilibriums are so common is you just go one time frame to the next. After this 5-minute equilibrium, we're going to look for an hourly equilibrium, either like this if it breaks bull on the 5-minute, or like this if it breaks bear on the 5-minute. And then we'll do it on the daily eventually. We'll top out, we'll pull back on the daily, we'll look for a daily lower high, sideways range, and it's that kind of sideways range where the bulls hope the dominance drop and the rotation goes into altcoins. All in all, big picture, there's still nothing to worry about. Simple statement, if Bitcoin's holding weekly EMA 12, bulls are just fine. But again, just a euphoria top, a clear resistance level, the only resistance level, the all-time high zone, and now it's just a question of how big of a pullback do we see? And do we head to hourly oversold conditions from here? Back burners. APT, nice job holding on. Definitely one of the best recoveries on that dump. All right, I only have another 5 minutes or so. I'm going to quickly read through the comments here. Appreciate the likes and the shares. Again, the more interaction we get on the analytics, the more we'll do these impromptu streams and such. Joey's still here. He's just got a bunch of other live streams he's doing for Chart Guys members, so I figured I'd hop in. I'm about to go live on Sin City Crypto here in 30, 40 minutes or so. And yes, to be able to capitalize on this volatility, it is thousands of hours. There's no sugarcoating it. Trading services that like to make things seem easy, it's not easy. You literally have to watch this multiple times. You have to attempt it and fail multiple times to trade this volatility. And you have to watch it for thousands of hours if you're going to be able to capitalize on this. And you can capitalize. I'm here to tell you that if you do that work, you can make significant money on days like this. in both directions or even just in one direction. But there's, I know I'm not special because I've taught and met other people that do it as well with my same style, and it's the backburners. And we have a webinar coming up next week. Joey's going to be talking to a couple longtime Chart Guys members, a couple members that have turned 5 figures into 7 figures in crypto, and going over how they did it, how their lives have changed in terms of relationships and bigger picture stuff. But they'll tell you, it's not just me. If it was only me, I'd say I'm special, but I'm not special. I put in a lot of time. That makes me special. I've got good hair. So that look next Thursday for that webinar. We'll start promoting it next week. You'll see stuff on our Twitter. And make sure and follow our Twitter. I'm on Twitter a lot these days. We're posting a lot of info there as well. So here's our 5-minute high or low. Did I predict anything? I guess you could say so, but it's just the most likely scenario. I've seen this literally 5,000 times on different time frames. And now what's the probability of a lower high on the 5-minute? 85% probability. Then we'll set a 5-minute lower high and tighten up. When you see something happen again and again and again and again, it becomes much easier to determine most likely scenarios. So, if there were no fees in crypto, instead of this live stream right now, I could buy 1,000, 1,000 or 1 Bitcoin, be up $1,000 here in 10 minutes. As far as finding the 5-minute high or low. I buy the pullback here. I set my stop under the low in case the 15% chance less likely thing happens and we bear break. I exit half, put my stop under the low in case it breaks bull. So many different ways to play it. All right, I got to run. Appreciate you all watching. And we'll be back. The webinar will be open and public. Joey's stuff today is for members only. But come check out the Chart Guys. It's a lot of fun trading with friends. Do good things. Again, one more recap here. Bitcoin, if the 5-minute equilibrium breaks bear, we zoom out, and eventually we'll find a bottom. There's a base in the 56s. And then we'll look for the hourly lower high to be most likely, and we'll tighten up on that time frame. But the most likely scenario for me is consolidation on longer term time frames from here. If we were to head to a higher high in the next few days over 64,000, I would be pretty shocked. I give that a 15% chance as being, 85% chance that we need to digest this move on longer term time frames and consolidate a bit here.